We felt more like roommates than husband and wife. The distance between us was growing, and we were both too scared to say why. It was like we were living parallel lives under the same roof, each of us tiptoeing around an unspoken chasm. So we decided to try something absolutely terrifying. For 7 days straight, we would tell each other every single thought that crossed our minds. No filter, no holding back, and definitely no exit strategy. We honestly didn't know if this radical honesty experiment would save our marriage or finish us off for good. Just 3 months before this wild idea, we were stuck in what felt like a polite autopilot. Our dinners were quiet, often punctuated only by the clinking of forks. Nights were a blur of back-to-back phone scrolling, each of us lost in our own digital world, inches apart but miles away. Any attempt at small talk felt like pushing a boulder uphill, requiring immense effort for minimal return. We'd ask, "How was your day?" and almost instinctively get the canned, utterly unrevealing, "Fine." What that really translated to was nothing dangerous admitted, nothing real shared. It was a subtle, insidious erosion of intimacy. We were slowly, almost imperceptibly, becoming strangers. Research from the Gottman Institute, a powerhouse in relationship studies, consistently shows that couples who stay surface level for too long begin to see a significant drop in felt security and connection. Specifically, they found a 17% drop in felt security within just a year for couples avoiding deeper conversations. We were definitely on that conveyor belt, moving further and further away from each other, one safe, non-committal answer at a time. It was a slow-motion car crash, and neither of us knew how to hit the brakes. So, we set a single brutal rule. If it popped into our heads, it had to come out of our mouths. Not tomorrow, not when the time is right. It had to be now. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But try telling the person you love that their laugh sometimes makes you want to fake your own disappearance, or that you secretly resent them for something trivial they did last Tuesday. It's terrifying. It feels like walking a tightrope over a canyon, blindfolded. Yet the studies are incredibly clear. Consensual real-time vulnerability actually flips a powerful trust switch in our brains. The moment one person bravely risks honesty, even with something uncomfortable, the other's oxytocin levels rise. This isn't just some vague feeling. It's a biological response that literally biases them toward empathy and understanding. Instead of immediate attack or defensiveness, we were banking on that biology. Because let's be honest, the therapy bills were already stacking up, and we needed a different kind of intervention. This was our last-ditch effort, a desperate leap of faith into the messy, unknown territory of total honesty. I remember day one so vividly. My turn came first. I took a breath so big, my ribs literally creaked, feeling like they might snap. Then, the words tumbled out, raw and unfiltered. "I keep wondering if you stay with me out of convenience. Not because you truly want me." Silence. A heavy, suffocating silence. Then tears. Not the dramatic movie scene kind, but quiet, steady tears, just leaking from her eyes. It was heartbreaking to witness, yet strangely freeing. She answered, her voice trembling. "I've been scared that you are just counting the days until something better shows up for you." We sat there in that awful, trembling space, surrounded by the wreckage of our unspoken fears. And here's the truly weird part. Once those words, those deep-seated anxieties, finally left our mouths, the room felt lighter. It was like we'd opened all the windows after burning dinner, letting out all the smoke and stale air. Nothing was fixed, not yet, but suddenly, the amorphous, suffocating problem had a name. It was fear. Fear on both sides. A shared silent burden we had both been carrying alone. the next morning, something subtle but profound shifted. We didn't even have to prompt each other. She volunteered, almost casually. "You know, I hate how I shut down and get defensive when you're direct with me." It was a small confession, but it felt monumental. I, in turn, admitted, and I tend to criticize and get sharp when I feel unwanted or unheard. Each confession, each small act of emotional bravery, made the next one feel about 10% safer, 10% easier. It was like building a muscle. The more we exercised it, the stronger it got. Researchers call this phenomenon the vulnerability closeness cycle. Every honest, open exchange actually predicts a measurable uptick in relationship satisfaction. Specifically, studies show a 0.3-point increase in next week relationship satisfaction for every honest exchange. By day 3, we were up 2 full points on our own internal 1 to 10 closeness scale. And we hadn't even left the couch for anything more strenuous than coffee. It was mind-blowing how quickly the dynamic was changing, how rapidly we were reconnecting, just by daring to be real. Day 4 brought a harsh dose of reality. I messed up, big time. She asked if her new jeans made her look fat. A classic relationship landmine. Instead of offering reassurance, or even a kind deflection, I blurted out, "Yeah, but honestly, I hadn't even noticed because I've been too angry to really look at you." Ouch. A gut punch. The air instantly crackled with tension. She didn't say a word. She just walked out of the room, her silence louder than any scream. This was it, I thought. The end. But here's where the real lifesaver comes in. Repair attempts. I knew I couldn't just let that hang in the air. I followed her, my heart pounding, and owned the cruelty of my words. I apologized, genuinely, and then, crucially, I asked what she actually needed to hear in that moment. Turns out, she didn't need a denim report. She desperately needed reassurance that I still found her attractive and cared. We learned a vital lesson that day. Vulnerability, without intentional heartfelt repair, is just emotional shrapnel, leaving wounds instead of building bridges. But with genuine repair, with the willingness to acknowledge hurt and actively heal it, vulnerability becomes the strongest glue imaginable, making the bond even more resilient than before. On day 5, we escalated the experiment. We decided to trade lists. 5 ways I protect myself from you. Mine included things like scrolling endlessly on my phone, deploying sarcasm as a shield, and consistently working late to avoid uncomfortable conversations. Hers included overscheduling herself, retreating into silent meals, and offering fake agreement just to keep the peace. Seeing those lists side by side was like reading the blueprints to the giant wall we had unconsciously built between us. It was a stark, almost painful revelation of our individual defense mechanisms. That night, we didn't watch Netflix. We didn't scroll. We didn't even eat dinner right away. We talked. We talked until 2 a.m. about the first time we each felt unwanted or unheard as kids. We shared stories from our childhoods, moments of insecurity and fear that had shaped our adult coping mechanisms. There was zero romance in that conversation, no candlelit dinner, no soft music. Yet, it was without a doubt the most intimate night of our entire marriage. We weren't just partners. We were 2 souls witnessing each other's foundational wounds. And in that shared vulnerability, a profound connection was forged. By day 7, the final day of our experiment, we decided to retake the same relationship survey we'd used in month 2, when things felt so stagnant. The results were astounding. Our scores jumped a remarkable 24% in felt trust, and an incredible 31% in felt closeness. Nothing else in our lives had changed. We still had the same jobs, lived in the same apartment, and the laundry basket was just as cluttered. The only difference The single variable was that the suffocating silence between us had been swapped for honest, often messy, but always real sentences. This wasn't some abstract improvement. It was a tangible, quantifiable shift in the very fabric of our relationship. If you're tracking with us, if this story resonates even a little, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're dropping new experiments like this every single month. Experiments that turn complex relationship theory into road-tested, actionable tools you can literally steal and use in your own life. Don't miss out on the next breakthrough. So why does this terrifying, uncomfortable secret actually build unbreakable trust? Brené Brown, the queen of vulnerability research, defines it not as weakness, but as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Notice she doesn't label it nice or easy or even comfortable. It's none of those things. But here is the incredible payoff. When both partners bravely opt into this kind of raw, honest exchange, the brain tags the relationship as a safe bet. This isn't just a feeling. It has measurable physiological effects. Cortisol levels, our stress hormone, actually decrease, and immune function gets a boost. It's a literal health upgrade for both partners. Beyond the individual benefits, the relationship itself transforms. When you routinely share your true self, your fears, your hopes, your messy thoughts, it cultivates a deep sense of psychological safety. This safety then allows for more effective conflict resolution and significantly reduces the frequency and intensity of arguments. Couples who consistently practice consensual vulnerability average 6 fewer arguments per month, according to a comprehensive 2022 meta-analysis of 41 different studies. 6 fewer fights, that's basically a mini vacation for your nervous system every month. It builds intimacy, trust, and a deeper connection because you're seen and accepted for who you truly are, not just the polished version you present to the world. It fosters empathy and compassion, creating a supportive environment where partners can truly thrive and help each other cope with external stresses. It's a courageous act, a true sign of strength, and it allows for authentic love to flourish. Okay, so how do you actually start? Because jumping into a 7-day unfiltered honesty marathon might feel a little much for day one. 1. Start tiny. Don't aim for a grand dramatic confession right off the bat. Instead, admit one micro fear today. Something like, I am scared I'll bore you if I talk about my day too much. Or, I worry you will think less of me if I tell you about this small mistake I made. These little admissions are far more effective than trying to deliver a grand, sweeping speech. They build the muscle gently. 2. Time box it. Agree to share raw truths for a very specific, limited time, say 10 minutes. Set a timer. When the timer goes off, you both debrief. This creates a container of safety, knowing there's an endpoint, and helps prevent things from spiraling out of control. 3. Use the phrase, what I'm making up about this is. This is a powerful tool for owning your story and your feelings without making accusations. Instead of saying, you always ignore me when I talk about work, try, what I am making up about this is that you don't care about my job, and that makes me feel small. It frames your perception as your perception, rather than an objective truth about their actions, which invites curiosity instead of defensiveness. 4. End with gratitude. After someone shares something vulnerable, or after you've listened, thank them. A simple, thank you for trusting me with that, or I really appreciate you sharing that with me, seals the loop. It acknowledges the courage it took to share that emotional grenade and actively invites the next risk, reinforcing that the space is safe. We get a lot of common pushback on this idea. The first big one, but what if vulnerability is used against me later? This is a totally valid fear, rooted in past hurts. Here's the healthy boundary. Agree explicitly, verbally, that both partners can pause a conversation if it becomes too intense. But shared fears or vulnerabilities should never be weaponized in future fights. If you need to, put it in writing, like a relationship constitution. It's a sacred trust. The second worry. Isn't constant honesty just brutal? Am I supposed to just blurt out every single thought? Absolutely not. This isn't about being cruel or thoughtless. The key is to filter for intent, not just intensity. Before you speak, ask yourself, will sharing this bring us closer, help us understand each other better, or will it just unload my anxiety onto my partner without a clear purpose? If it's primarily the second, just a pure anxiety dump, then journal it first. Process it on your own, speak second, and speak with intention and care. Vulnerability isn't about thoughtless confession. It's about courageous connection. We don't sprint the honesty marathon anymore. We walk it daily, consistently. Our mornings now often include a 5-minute temperature check. It's a simple question. What's alive in you today? Anything left unsaid from yesterday? Some days, the answer is genuinely, I'm good, feeling centered, and that's real and accepted. Other days, it's a raw, unfiltered, I am terrified I am falling behind in life, and that I am taking you down with me. Either way, the rule still stands. Say it, own it, and stay curious about what your partner is sharing. This daily practice has transformed our relationship from a polite coexistence into a living, breathing, deeply connected partnership. It's not always comfortable, but it's always real. Unbreakable trust isn't built with grand gestures, expensive gifts, or elaborate romantic dinners. It's built in the quiet, terrifying moments when you let your scariest sentence out into the open and discover, to your profound relief, that your partner is still standing there, still loving you, still choosing you. So, I dare you. Try the 7-day unfiltered experiment. At the very least, you'll collect some incredibly valuable data on what you actually feel and what's truly going on beneath the surface. At best, you'll remember in a deeply profound way why you chose each other in the first place. When you're done, come back here and tell us what broke open for you. We read every single comment, and if this added even one small tool to your relationship kit, please like the video and share it with that one person you attempted to text the link to. Instead of saying the words yourself, say the words. We dare you.